Hi friends, it is, shoot, I'm tired. It's late. It is Wednesday, October. It's October already. It's October 19th, and today there was a protest in honor of Robert, who is currently in jail, down at CPS. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that. It looks like there was quite a few people that showed up today. So thank you to everybody that showed up to honor Robert's monthly CPS protest down at Cole and maybe it's Fairview. I'm going to mess this up. It's at CPS over by Pojo's. And Robert shows up from 2 to 4 on the 19th of every month just to bring awareness of what's going on with CPS and how they have been taking advantage of what they're doing and trafficking kids for money. And so he's been doing this for about 6 years. And I'm sure if you've been on social media at all recently, you've seen that there are quite a few new cases, including baby Lily, baby Cyrus. There's a new one, and I apologize, I don't know that baby's name, that are gaining a lot of traction in social media and online because the parents are bringing awareness to what the families are being put through with CPS. So this is something that Robert has been doing for over 5 years. And so I just want to thank you to all my friends that did go out today to support Robert's cause down at CPS and bring awareness to what they're doing. So thank you to everybody that went. Garth, thank you for the picture. Looks great. And I did want to give a quick update. It sounds like Robert did get some pictures in the jail of his kids protesting. So that was exciting. So they are letting protesting pictures in. So if you have a chance, the address is down in the comments or in the description. Please run down to Office Depot or your local print place and print off some pictures and send them to Robert. I'm sure he would love to share them. Last night I talked about quite a bit because I did get to talk to Robert yesterday. And there was so much in there that I wanted to talk about, and I couldn't. Partially because my brain was so scattered with everything that he said. And we talked for a long time. So I had just a lot of information. So I have two different situations that I just kind of want to touch on tonight. Of reasons people are in jail. So the first one that he was telling me about was a gentleman that was in there. And I understand that we definitely have to take these kind of with a grain of salt because we weren't there. So this is all third party information as to what happened and why these guys are in jail. But knowing what we know about the court system, a lot of it is not so far-fetched. So there was, I'm just going to call it stupid reasons people are in jail. So there's a guy in there, and I apologize, I did not write down how long he's serving. But it was an extended sentence. For the way that it was described, it sounded like he was defending his living space. And so he was charged with assault with a deadly weapon. And the reason he was charged with assault with a deadly weapon is because he told somebody not to come into his room while holding a hatchet. Now you guys can look at this 100 different ways. Yeah, maybe he shouldn't have been holding a hatchet, in your opinion. But he was defending his space. So is that any different than, a castle doctrine or, stand your ground laws? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't have the full details, but just coming from Robert, he seems to think that, what this guy is charged with was a bit excessive for the circumstances based off what he's hearing. And I mean, for goodness sakes, Robert's in there for 6 months for banging on a bucket. So if he had the same judge that Robert did, that's not a far stretch of the imagination to think that this guy got the book thrown at him for nothing. And then we got another one. And I'm going to try and make sure I have the details as correct as I do on this one. So there was a gentleman in there, and he was on probation for something. Doesn't really matter what he was on probation for. And while he was on probation, he was on his way to work because, you know, part of being on probation is you have to maintain employment and all these things. And he had a suspended license. So because he's trying to keep his job, he didn't violate any other terms of the probation. But he did have a suspended license, and he was trying to get to work. So he drove to work on a suspended license and got pulled over because he had, I believe he said it was a brake light out, which brake light out's not really a crime, but I mean, you know, it does need to be addressed. But anyways, fast forward, this guy gets pulled over, gets a ticket for driving without privileges, gets thrown back in jail. Not just in jail, but he's on his way to the pen for 3 years because he got a driving without privileges ticket. The guy that was on probation trying to get his shit together and go to work is now back in the system for another 3 years because the judge was having a bad day. Like, who did that guy hurt? Who did he hurt by going to work? Going down the rabbit hole of like whether or not he should have to have a driver's license is a totally different conversation. And I'd love to have that one with Robert present because he has some good points. But so those are just two things that we talked about of reasons people were in jail that are just kind of, they're petty. They're petty and they're stupid. And then we talked more about food. So I briefly looked at the chat today. It's like going on 11 o'clock and I'm just getting home from work. So I'm sorry, guys. It's super late. I did get a couple of messages today about somebody that wanted to help out with the storage unit from yesterday. And I believe I had a message about the book. And I'm going to go back and check those here in just a few minutes. So thank you to those people that messaged me. I really would like to get that book ordered for that guy. And if we could help that other guy out who just lost his mom, you know, that would be super helpful too. I mean, hopefully he is going to get released here within the next 30 days. I know they keep changing his date, but hopefully he's up soon and something will come full circle and he'll get his mom's stuff back. So I've got those two things. I will update you more tomorrow. Hopefully we have those all taken care of. But Robert and his food. A lot of people were commenting today about his food and his food consumption and whether or not he's getting enough nutrients and why he's not eating the food. And it's a really hard concept for a lot of people to understand. But Robert's been in jail before. And the last time that he was in a jail where he was informed that there was something being put into the food. And it was to control... Okay, maybe control is not the right word. It was meant to affect hormone levels in the inmates. And it had long-term effects. So he has some valid reasons for not wanting to eat the food. And right now, like, I don't want to eat the food at the grocery store, much less like in the jail. So we can criticize him all day long for his choices. I don't think that the choices that he's making as far as the ramen noodles are the healthiest. But that's his choice. He gets to do that. And if he feels that's safer for him to eat the ramen noodles than to eat the slop that they put on the plate in the jail, let's support that. Because it's his choice. And right now where he's in jail, he has control over that small aspect. And we can bombard him with organic, healthy fats and protein bars and nutrient shakes and everything else when he gets out. But right now, like, let's stay positive for him, because it's got to be hard being in there, not only not being able to be out with your family with everything that's going on in the world today, but not being able to have control over what you're consuming. So please, I know everybody's concerned about him. If you have the opportunity, you can help by sending some funds to the Give, Send, Go, and Melanie is putting money on his commissary, and she is sending him those packages through iCare. So any money that's put into the Give, Send, Go does help with that. So thank you to everybody that's donated so far, and if you would like to help, you can do so that way. Letters are kind of fluctuating, but I do want to give a huge shout out to Maggie. Maggie, you have written the most letters. Sometimes he gets like 2 a day from you, and he says you're an absolute rock star, and thank you, Maggie, because he looks forward to your letters. So kudos, Maggie, you're awesome. And if anybody else wants to participate in writing to other inmates, there is a program ran out of a church out in Star, and I can get you some contact information probably tomorrow on that. And I'm going on 12 minutes, and I'm trying to keep it short, guys. So, okay. I covered the CPS protest today. Maggie, you're amazing again. Okay, last thing that I want to touch on is tomorrow is a super important day for Sara Brady. And I think there's another mom that's got a court case going on around the same time as Sara. So, for those of you that don't know, back in 2020, Sara Brady was arrested for being at the park with her kids, and a month ago they held a hearing to discuss whether or not they were going to dismiss the charges. And I think tomorrow's just a status update. And I was really hoping I was going to be able to make it tomorrow to Boise, but unfortunately I cannot. So, Sara, I'm so sorry. I'm going to do better. And next time I will be there for you, but I'm sorry I can't be there tomorrow. So if you can, if you're in the area, please go show your support. This isn't just for Sara. It's for moms all across the state of Idaho, and it's for freedom all across the state of Idaho. This kind of really comes down to the core of what happened at the beginning of 2020 and what was wrong with it. So in 2020, Brad tried to lock down the state. And I know that he's been putting out all these stupid ads recently saying, I didn't lock down Idaho. I kept Idaho open. No, Brad, you're okay. You're not. You're a liar. So you didn't keep Idaho open. We've got you multiple times over saying that you had to lock us down and all the other shit that you did. Sarah's standing up to the charges that she has for trespassing. And she shouldn't have charges to begin with, because them locking us down was totally ridiculous. And if you heard the arguments from her last court hearing, they were arguing whether or not she was standing on wood chips or standing on grass. And she was outside in a public place. She should not be facing 6 months in jail, and she should not be facing $1,000 fine. So go check out Sara. She's on Facebook. She's got all sorts of videos about what happened. She's also known as the Park Mom. And she has court tomorrow, and everybody's support would be totally welcome down at the Ada County Courthouse. So I will be on again tomorrow night, hopefully a little bit earlier, and I will have some more updates that I didn't cover yesterday or today from Robert, and I might have a special surprise this weekend. We'll see how this works out, but I hope you all have a great night. Melanie and family are doing well, just plugging away, getting ready for winter. So thanks again, everybody, for all the support and all the letters to Robert. Keep them coming, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.